Hey, hi, Life Cycles Yoga, Sirena here. And we are recording, Tonja and I, Zodiac sisters. Happy to be here. It's September 4th. It's Labor Day.
It's Labor Day.
So we're a few days late, but that's okay. It feels like it's harder and harder sometimes to get our schedules together. But we are happy to be recording for September, and we have a special guest who happens to be in town. World traveler Adrienne Stauffer. Thank you, everybody.
Yes,
Welcome, welcome. She's what we call our token Libra. So for today, I mean this show today, we're kind of chatting about Virgo and a little bit of Libra, of course, because it's Virgo season, but then Libra season starts in the end of September. So yeah, Zodiac sisters, who are we? What are we doing? Why are we here? You know, this is going to be in the ether webs for who knows how long, until the internet's taken down by AI. And who knows when that will happen.
Really gonna happen?
Oh, here's your pen. Oh, sorry. So yeah, I'm Sirena, and Tonja and I started this show January 2023. We are Zodiac sisters because we're interconnected in our charts in a very magical, mystical way. I'm a Virgo, she's a Pisces. And also our rising signs are opposites as well. I'm a Gemini rising, Sagittarius rising, and many more beautiful things. Her moon is right on top of my sun, which is lovely. And we'll talk a little bit about our synastry as well. Adrienne, bringing her in and how we met. But first, I just want to say hello, introduce myself, and then go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Tonja. This is my home. Thank you for watching and joining us here. And September 4th. And say, even though we might not have our schedules always aligning, we are consistent every month.
Yes, we are. We are nothing but consistent. That's definitely our Virgo.
Yeah, that's our Virgo.
That's our intense Virgo. Yeah, she has a lovely Virgo and in her, and then as well as myself. But then our conversations, I feel, definitely come from the cosmic realm, because we just go with the flow and talk about life. You know, the whole point of Zodiac Sisters is to talk about sort of how the transits and aspects and the movement of the stars are affecting our lives. And we like to share guests in their lives and talk a little bit about sun signs, rising signs, moon signs, and also just big happenings, new moons, full moons. And in our agenda today, we will look back on August. We like to do a look back and kind of talk about the events that happened around the big events, and then also look forward to what's going on in September, give you a heads up for your own life. Well, good. Adrienne and Sirena, how did we meet? And so I'll let Adrienne say a little bit about herself too, but we met when we were really young. I think the first time I met you was, I don't know, third or fourth grade, but it was actually previous to that, because I remember when I was 6 and we did something. I met, your dad was teaching us French in school.
Oh, at Mary Phillips or Twin Branch?
I think it was it Twin Branch? It might have been Twin Branch, but
second branch.
So and then we were in the same school together for a little while, and then we separated into different schools, middle schools, and then we came back in high school. Been friends ever since.
Seen each other along the way because we did the same sports, so we'd see each other, play
basketball
games in junior
soccer,
high,
basketball camps. Yeah, exactly.
So
I saw you a
lot as young people, and then in high school we were just instant besties.
So
quite opposite.
I mean, we're pretty opposite, and this is interesting because you have so much Libra, very much air. But I have a connection in air because I'm Gemini rising, so my outlook on life is very air-like, which you have a lot of air. So I was just looking at our chart, Sun, Pluto, Venus, and Mercury in Libra in the 3rd house. That's a lot of Libra, and Libra tendencies of balance and harmony and beauty. But also we'll get more into that. But one really cool connection, and I was telling Adrienne this last night, is that she's a Leo rising. Okay, Leo rising is the sun. The sun rules your chart. So positivity, life force, vitality. Fun, playfulness, and a positive outlook on life, versus Pluto ruled chart, which it's evolution of the soul and the psyche. It's more malefic, like it's a negative outlook on life. So Leo rising, back to Leo rising. I have a lot of Leo rising in my life. Well, my dad is a Leo sun, my mom is a Leo moon, and then my husband is a Leo rising, my daughter Ruby is a Leo rising, and my other best friend Annette is a Leo rising, and now here we go, Leo rising. There's something really synchronistic about that. There's something, the synastry there, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, and then I have, the only thing I have in Libra is Pluto, because Pluto in Libra, Pluto is a generational planet. Because we were born around the same, she was born in 79, I'm born in 78, generational planet. I mean, Pluto's in a sign for 15 to 30 years, so of course. So the Pluto, my Pluto is like right around her planets. What does that mean? It means you are being transformed through the relationships that you have. So our generation, depending on the Pluto placement and where it's at, yours is in the 3rd house of communication. So maybe influential through others in terms of like learning about communication, challenging them through communication. And that relationship then is affected, you know, and transformed. So transformation through relationships. I forget what your Pluto is.
I'm trying to remember. I don't.
It might be the sign before, which would be Virgo. We should look at that. Or it might be the very beginning of Pluto, because you're only 5 years ahead of me.
Okay.
So we see that you might be early Pluto, like Pluto 1 degree or something, but yeah. So yeah, that's how we met, and we continue to see each other, and it's you know, it's one of those relationships where you come back to it and it's, you just pick up where you left off. It never really, you know, it's not like, I don't know, it's really lovely. So to just have like a sister, you know. So what else do I want to say about that? Anything else you want to say? Introduce yourself. What do you do? Where do you come from? You know, let's get a little feel for who you are, you know, for your audience that you'll share it with.
Let me be careful then. Let's see. As Serena mentioned, we grew up together in Indiana. And let's see, I lived in a few places. I lived in Chicago, I lived in the DC area, I moved up to Maine in 2009. And then a few years ago, I moved into a van with my partner Corey, and we've been traveling around the country ever since. And we started with a plan to commit to a year, so we would get through any bumps and push through. And then after that, our rule has been we're going to do it till it's not fun anymore, and it's still fun.
Awesome.
So, we get to travel and see friends and explore new places and meet new people, and
so neat. Yeah, that's awesome. Maybe we can get Corey to do our Capricorn show. That'd be so fun. That's cool. I was looking at her chart earlier too, and I forgot, because I always thought about, I don't know, I was thinking about like your moon, you know, and you know, Pisces moon in the 8th house, and thinking about the balance of like your rising, your sun, and your moon. And we talk about this a lot, like what's the interplay of like your elements, right? Like a lot of air, which is very heady, it's very detached emotionally. So air signs are more analytical, more logical, more thinking mind. Rule communication, the flow of ideas as well. Very idea driven. And then, but Leo rising is fire, and that's like really creative and passionate and giving and loving, and it's rules with the heart, right? So really heart driven. But then the Pisces moon is water, you know, and it's the last sign of the zodiac, and Pisces next to Cancer moon, like it's in Taurus is exalted in the moon, but Pisces is right there with it. Like it's one of the most beautiful placements for a moon because it rules intuition and spirituality. But I feel like with that moon in your 8th house, which is really driven towards the psyche and the knowing, like it's like knowing without knowing, you know, intuitive, but the third eye, other realms, so like lifting the veil, you know, with the other realms, but it helps balance out. So it helps balance the air and it helps balance the fire because your moon is really powerful in your chart. So it's a really nice balance. Yeah.
Like a Libra balance.
Yeah. Yes. So right there. Exactly. And it's also opposite all of my Virgo. So that might be a nice synastry there. Sisters on that realm, but also oppositional. Good. So my friends, well, why don't we get started into August, reflecting on August. The Pisces, full moon, super moon, blue moon last week. I just wanted to start there because I texted my sister in Indiana and I said, you better, you know, swim under the full moon tonight because we were there on August 1st for the Aquarius full moon, swimming under the moon. And I said, it feels like 700 years ago. Like we were in Indiana on the full moon on August 1st swimming. It's incredible. Like, what is time? And Pisces, I feel like sometimes is like that. It's like,
time.
What is time? You know, we lose time. And that blue moon, like Adrienne was here and we were talking about like, what day is it? Brain fog.
That's right. Yeah. All of us.
All of it.
Yeah,
Just all of us.
Everyone around us was like, dang, is it?
Yeah, what's going on? And that's very Piscean. Like we have to allow ourselves to not be so anchored and controlled by time. But I just want to mention that because August felt like it was 800 years long, like honestly. It's a long one. So August 1st, it was August 1st, full moon in Aquarius. You know, if you look back, I was still in Indiana. Just enjoying time with family. It was Leo season, so because that's the opposite of Aquarius. Do you want to speak a little bit around that time? I mean, Aquarius is detached from like it's detached from like feeling the full range of emotions. It's more, it's an air sign, so it's thinking, but it's all about friendships and community. It's about hopes and dreams for the future, technology, you know. We were recording around that time just before it, and I felt like technology was really smooth and nice during that time. But August 1st, anything happening in your life, in your presence? Yeah,
I just think that was during a time when I was really connected to my dream world. A lot was coming up, actually, like around community and family, in my dream world. And so a very detailed dream on August 1st.
Really? Okay.
Where I almost the theme was kind of like a detachment from family. And but also like a beauty of still coming together. So this detachment and coming together as well.
Coming together. Okay.
And experiencing my family in my dream world in a very different and unique way.
So was it like a present moment sort of like situation, or was it more like a futuristic thing?
I think it was nothing that was correlating to the present moment, and it was present moment. So I feel like that sense of time was present moment, and it was it was taking place. Actually, it was a little bit of a throwback to a family trip that we took in May to Maui, but it was present day as if we were in Maui, as if we were leaving the place. And I was declaring that I didn't want to go on any more family vacations. But then my dad had like a beautiful like sort of perspective that I hadn't considered. So
Okay.
It's kind of intense.
Definitely. Okay. Yeah, because Aquarius for you is the 3rd house because you're Sagittarius rising.
Okay, the 3rd house, remind me.
well, that's siblings, but that's also messages coming through.
Okay.
Because it's
yeah.
communication, so
Yeah.
it's like the universe has something to tell you.
Okay, yeah, that was
And I think I
definitely,
remember talking to you about that.
yeah, it was definitely a message that
Yeah.
was coming through, like,
Interesting.
just gave me a different perspective on how people connect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, because I think there's a sense of, and I think this is my Pisces, like, I really want that deep, intense, like, connection, and
Mhm.
not everyone wants that. It's hard for me to like swallow
Yeah.
that sometimes.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
And so just
Okay.
getting a different perspective of like,
Mhm. Mhm.
that's sort of what the dream was sort of echoing. It's like, all
Mhm.
right, so maybe we don't have that, Tanya, and maybe we could still feel like
know.
a sense of connection bonding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hard because when you want them to sort of reflect or feel the same way that you do,
Yeah.
I do that too. Because
Yeah,
like
it's
on a deeper
projecting,
connection.
but yeah.
But it's yeah, it's
so
understandable.
fun to, like,
Yeah,
live on that
yeah,
level. Why would
exactly.
everyone want to live there?
Doesn't anyone? Yeah. Sexual Enneagram 9. Yeah. Why doesn't everybody want to live on this intense
Right.
level? Like we're the same in that respect as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I oftentimes question that myself, and then I get bored with them or upset with them. Kind of
Yes.
like, all right, well, peace
Yeah.
out. You know, if you can't,
Yes.
you know, connect a little bit deeper, then I don't have that anymore. Yeah, boring doesn't cut it for me. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I am working on my range of like how to
Mhm.
flex with different relationships. And
Yeah.
not have to feel like this one note of like intensity. 'Cause,
Mhm.
It's not where everyone wants to live, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of value in play and just being in someone's like just geographic presence. And
Yeah,
doing a lot
exactly.
of conversing together. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, and it takes away the suffering when you release that expectation of how we would like them to be, you know, and just allow them to be in what they are, you know, and who they are.
Yeah, and that I can make choices around how I interact with people.
Yes.
I think that's like
Choices.
take away. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big Virgo theme is discernment, because
Yeah.
that's the month of Virgo-ness is discernment, choice of like, okay.
I'm into that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that, but August 1st for you, that's your relationship house, that's 7th house. Talk about your time, August 1st.
Fully detached. Which is very rare because I live in a van with my partner.
Yeah,
Um,
very
We
small.
spend a lot of space.
space.
We spend 24/7 together 100% of the time, most of the time. And we had a really intense July professionally and socially. We were posted up in Portland for the month, and it's just like really busy. And in the first week in October, I had a solo week because Corey was spending time in New York and I was traveling alone. And so I was like detached physically from everybody and also pretty digitally and emotionally and just you know kind of getting some me time and recovering from you know a really busy July, but then also having some space to think about those connections and what I want them to be.
Yes.
Which is hard to do when you're, for me anyway, when I'm surrounded by people and work and everything. So just having some space in that first week of August to recover and reset was pretty key. So yes, very detached.
Yeah, I love that you say that. And the relationships, you know, they're on your mind and how you want to have those moving forward, or just thinking about them, you know, because the 7th house is Aquarius for you, and that full moon ultimately is sort of like reanalysis and letting go and releasing, and detachment is a big theme with Aquarius. You know, Aquarius is interesting because like it is about the whole and the collective and the community and your friends, and they're very much oriented towards that in the groups. But it's also detachment. You have to have a certain level of detachment, I think, as well, to make choices about certain things in your life. But also the interplay of the relationship with yourself, you know, being alone, being able to heal away from everybody else, recovering from an intense July. The relationship with the self is interplayed, that balance, especially because you're a Leo rising. That's where the sun was right then, highlighting that about yourself. And then that full moon in the Aquarius 7th house, that the relationships were a big part of that week, but being alone is good to kind of, reconnect with yourself.
It makes for a healthy relationship for me. if
Yes.
I feel alone
Yes.
sometimes, yeah.
Yes, I feel that for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Well, good, awesome. Thank you for sharing. So the next big sort of event in August, and we'll go through these a little faster, but I like to go through like these intense times of like the new moon, August 16th was a new moon, and that was in Leo. So the new moon is conjunct the sun, meaning they're holding hands. That's why you can't see the moon during a new moon, because it's with the sun. So it's literally traveling with the sun. And the new moon in Leo is the sign of children, the sign of creativity. It's ruled by the sun, so it's life force, it's transformational in a way that like Scorpio is considered transformational. Pluto, ruled by Pluto and Mars, but it's in a destructive way, right? You have to break down and destroy in order to build up. But then Leo is transformation in a more positive way. So if you think about like planting a seed and the nourishment of the sun and the warmth of the sun, having that life force vitality to grow and bloom and blossom, that's the way you kind of can think about that season, and that new moon is a time of new beginnings. So also passionate, ruled by the heart, and for me, just on that day, August 16th was the first day of school, so that really rules children. And my kids went to school that day, and it was exactly square my moon. So squaring is a turning point, it's a struggle, it's a challenge. My moon, emotional self, and usually the first days of school, I come into this realization that my life will not be the same, like will not be relaxed and comfortable like summer, going with the flow until like Memorial Day weekend. And that's when I started to have a few breakdowns, and I fight the flow, I fight the schedule. Like it's really hard because it's just too intense, like homework and getting to school on time and all the activities and the events, the choir concerts, all of that starts up again, which is everything lovely and great, but I realized I need to ask for help, right? So I asked for some extra help this year, and also scheduling in more downtime is really important during the school year. Like it's okay to have a whole Saturday, like where we're just relaxing and watching shows and eating a good meal. But you got to recover, you have to have that time to reset button. Yeah, so that was a big realization for me. Anything around new moon for you, Tonja?
I just want to do a little throwback to the full moon. I noticed on
Oh.
August 2nd,
Yeah.
I wrote detached.
Oh,
Detached, not connected, going through the motions. So yeah, so there was something.
that's insight, and I want to say, like, it's not just about that day, right? August 1st was the full moon, but it's 3 days prior, 3 days after that we feel that energetic shift. Absolutely. We still feel that. Whoa, that is awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And that's why journaling is so important. That's why writing down how you feel, what you're going through, your dreams, your events, so you can look back on those days and be like, you see the pattern, you see the cycle. You can recognize that. And that's what we do in yoga a lot, right? Is because we come back to yoga and we breathe, we go through our vinyasa or our meditation, our self-inquiry, self-study. And that's what we do, is we recognize the patterns and behaviors that we can change and shift or grow. But also in astrology, we notice those patterns, shifts, and behaviors as well with the movement of the sun. Fascinating. Okay, new moon.
New moon for me, looking back to my journaling, I mean, there was definitely, I was in a place of like, deep contemplation, which is not really a huge shocker. But I think for me,
Really, what's that? Really, Pisces?
Yeah, right. But I was really kind of playing around that day, and I don't know maybe how this ties in, of am I doing things for short-term gain, or am I doing things for long-term gain? There's this quote that I just love. It's like, hard choices, easy life, easy choices, hard life. So I think that was definitely in that space around that time, like really just like where
where am I going? And am I playing for more instant gratification, or am I really trying to make some more difficult choices that are setting me up for long-term gain? So
Yeah,
that was happening for me.
wow, the
Yeah.
bigger
The
picture.
bigger picture.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's so interesting.
But
because
structure as well.
Structure, yeah.
Mhm.
Because the new moon was happening in your ninth house. So that is the bigger picture on
Yeah,
life, you
yeah.
know?
Mhm.
The third house is like the littler picture, the details, the
yeah,
finding
yeah.
out details, and the ninth house is like the philosophy of life, like life experience. What's the bigger picture here?
Yeah.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fascinating.
Yeah. And for you, anything going on the 16th?
So part of my July insanity was a pretty big professional transition. I'm a partner in the company now, which was yeah, big change and a positive one. And around the new moon, we made a lot of key decisions around that. So, you know, the deal was
New
done, but then we had to
beginnings.
kind of figure out some of the details about how we work together. And I'm the first partner to join since the founders founded the company. So it's sort of new territory for all of us to navigate. And so, yeah, it's a lot of communication and decision making and setting the stage for the future so that it flows smoothly. And so, yeah, we made a lot of key decisions around that time. Yeah, that was the
Wow.
biggest,
Yeah.
biggest thing for me. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's new beginnings, right? New moon
Mhm.
is a new phase, a new beginning, a new cycle. And that was happening in your first house. I mean, your identity has changed and shifted with this job, you know,
Sure.
and that will resonate and reverberate through years to come about who you are, your perspective on life as well. I mean, those are big decisions, you know. How do you you become a partner, you have more responsibility, more
Actual owner.
decision making, actual owner, stakes in the company.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really big.
Yeah, it does change the way you think that I think about
Mhm.
my work, the work,
Mhm.
how it influences people. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
definitely a different level of investment.
Yeah, yourself. And a different level of investment in yourself as well,
Sure,
right? Yeah, so that's cool. I love how things align like this, you know, that this is the reason we want to share in people's lives. So cool. Good. So a couple things for August, then the sun entered Virgo on the 23rd. And that goes until the fall equinox, September 23rd, when the sun moves into Libra. You know, and so Virgo season, I like it in fall. I love that it falls here. It's not fall, it's the last season of summer. But I like that it falls in the realm of school starting, you know, new routines starting, because Virgo really rules over routine. And health and wellness, getting organized, new structure to new schedules. So scheduling service to others and duty as well. It rules like nursing and management and teachers. So it's really this heightened awareness of all of those things during that time. And of course, alternative health and wellness, we start to shift at the end of summer, thinking about winter, fall and winter coming, and our routine changes, you know, and then we might become more interested in like, oh, let's make smoothies in the morning, you know, instead of a donut and a coffee. So or maybe we want to take walks now, or we're like, oh, my vitamins. My husband and I were talking about vitamins the other day, and he's like, sometimes I forget to take my vitamins. And I was like, it's not very Virgo of you. Like, I tease him, okay, we have the same birthday, you know, so 10 years apart, but like we're both Virgos, and like we have our little like pill box full of our supplements, you know, and our little allergy medicine and our vitamins and stuff. So it's really funny. That can be on our mind during this time, you know, just taking care of our health and wellness, our physical body, and interconnected, interplaying with our spiritual health, because it goes hand in hand. Do you ever get sick and then you're like praying to God, or you're like praying to get better, or maybe you're sick in your inner realm, you have to slow down more, or you get injured, you slow down more, and then deeper thoughts come to your life.
Every day, basically.
Yeah, nothing in the realm of that. So yes, of course, yeah. Well, good. So I just wanted to mention that in the season, and Virgo rules the intestines and the nervous system. So we're working this month with discernment, like I mentioned. So discernment is like such a good word for Virgo, ruled by Mercury. So choices, like one thing that Virgo likes to assimilate information. So ruling the intestines, right? You take in food, it goes through the stomach and processes. When it gets down into the intestines assimilate where it goes. Virgo likes to do that. Virgo likes to take it all in and be like, yep, the tea goes here, the dishes go here, the vacuum should be stored here, or at work, like this email gets filed. You see my emails, I have like color coordination, words. And it doesn't mean we're always tidy, right? It doesn't mean that we're always organized, but it's organized chaos at times, I guess is what you could say. But we're assimilating what's right, and I like the tarot card for Virgo because it's the Hermit. And the Hermit is the seeker of truth. So the Virgo is constantly in the seeking or pursuit of truth. So holding that light and walking on the path, discovering like the truth. So getting down to it, research, details, information. Yeah. Do you want to say anything about the sun entering Virgo? Otherwise, we'll move forward into feel any shifts, around that time, like, or since then. I mean, it is September 4th. Have these themes come up in your life? That
I wrote a quote on the 22nd at 6:42 a.m.
okay.
that it just came to me. It's like, I return to myself 100 times a day.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
So yeah, that feels kind of like Virgo. Like I want to return to my truth.
Yeah.
And be focused on that and
Yeah.
seeking that. And it's very difficult to stay connected to that often throughout the day. So yeah,
I love
getting
that.
some more structure on that.
Yeah, definitely. Virgo. One thing I want to say is Virgo is considered selfless. So this is interesting because you have a Virgo moon, right? But Pisces is your sun.
Yeah.
Born on a full moon here. So because of their sense of duty and service.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a constant reminder to return to the self.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have to take care of yourself in order to take care of others.
Yeah.
So thanks for sharing
Yeah,
that.
thanks for linking it back. Yeah. All right. What else we got?
Anything for you, like in this realm?
Major. I mean, I'm seeing it in Corey.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was very motivated to organize and purge and put things away and tidy and make our space a little bit more organized. And it's already pretty organized just by nature of it, being small.
Yeah.
But yeah, he kind of took it to the next level around that time. And yeah, we were very much in transit around then, like kind of we're going from East Coast to West Coast and kind of focused on making tracks and just kind of resettling back into our lifestyle together because we had been apart for like 10 days before we started to head west. So yeah, we had just kind of resettled, realigned, got back to our routines, which are routine but erratic because our every day is different. We wake up in a different place. Different things we have to do and whatever. So yeah, like organized chaos, like that's a thing that we definitely have to do in our lifestyle, just add structure to the chaos because we don't know what's going to happen in a day.
Because you're traveling every 3-ish days, right? Oftentimes, or you stop where a friend is, maybe stay a little bit longer, but those little routines also are really grounding, and settling for you, making the coffee or time to do things. Making the bed, unmaking the bed. Yes. I love that.
And I've been, I guess, during this season, like really focusing on organizing my home and purging.
Purging.
So I've been to the consignment store 3 times in the last 3 weeks. I donated 100 items to Goodwill. I itemized them all. Never done that before.
Wow.
So I'm getting ready for tax season. And just really trying to get stuff out of my house and be much more organized with my life. Because I was starting to feel like just everything around me feels chaotic, just physically in my home. And so that's been a major thing I'm working on, as well as getting some of my health shit in order, because I feel like that's sort of like gone by the wayside. So that's been
Yeah.
a focus for this month. Yeah.
Yeah, simplifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I like that. Definitely, I feel that as a Virgo, everything simplified, but
Mhm.
yeah. Try to get things in order.
Right.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and well, good, and I think you have your moon in Virgo, so your emotional self,
Yeah.
so oftentimes it can feel good to get things in order
Yeah.
in order to feel good emotionally.
It's
No.
true. It's true.
Yeah.
I resonate with that, taking it in and then sorting it. from an
Sorting
emotional
it.
perspective.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
my internal sorting hat.
Yep.
I also read Harry Potter. I
Very
finished Harry
good.
Potter this month, so yeah.
Internal sorting. Yeah. So good. Well, and then, for your chart, that's the second house for you because Leo rising. So like your second house is money and budgeting, what you buy, and you have Jupiter and Saturn in Virgo, which is a malefic planet, Saturn, which is structure and discipline. It's actually a really nice placement for Virgo, so it feels good there. So it may come naturally to you. You can be naturally self-disciplined, especially around money, what you spend it on. It's true, accurate. But then there's Jupiter in Virgo there, which can be expansive. So Jupiter's blessings and opportunities. And it's in your second house. So money can come to you easily through blessings, opportunities. Yeah. Easy to make money. And then how you spend it, if you're gonna spend it, you may want quality as well. Not something that's gonna peter out and be bad, it's efficient. Yeah. And also health stuff maybe come easier to you as well. So it's in a really nice placement to have. Yeah, good. Okay, so why don't we okay, so we had a couple retrogrades that started in August. That was Mercury in Virgo went retrograde at 21 degrees on the same day the sun entered Virgo. So of course everybody knows Mercury in retrograde 3-4 times a year for 3 to 4 weeks. It's communication and yeah, I mean we all know about that. It's talked about on social media, made fun of, whatever, communication. And then don't sign contracts and then don't have big conversations. Venus was retrograde as well during this time. Uranus stationed retrograde in Taurus on 23 degrees. I just want to mention like August, all of this is happening deeply in my chart, like because I have Mercury in Virgo at 21 degrees. So I had a birthday, like we have a birthday, right? We have a birthday because the sun arrives in the same place that it was when we were born.
Yeah.
So we have birthdays with all of these planets. It's just called a return. So I had a Mercury birthday, which happened to be turning backwards on the same day.
Thank you for clarifying that. The return actually means the birthday
The
of that.
birthday.
When the Saturn return.
Yeah.
It's the birthday of Saturn.
Birthday of Saturn. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's fun to think about those things.
Yeah.
And then so that was definitely influencing me. I just can't find my words. Brain fog, I don't know. It's crazy. But and then Uranus station retrograde in Taurus at 23 degrees, which is right on my moon. I have a Taurus moon at 23 degrees. So Uranus sitting right on top, which is the planet of awakening. It's a planet of surprise. So it can bring surprises into your life. Thankfully, no big surprises. So I was really on edge. I was like, what's gonna happen? Nothing happened. So I think that's funny. You think like as an astrologer, I do anticipate things, you guys. I'm gonna just be honest, but it also it could be something really subtle and small, too. It doesn't have to be big, emotionally. Could just be something subtle and small, which a lot of things that happen around that time are things that are repeated behaviors, patterns, thoughts, and ideas, which is not surprising to me. But I just think, okay, I have to like do something to move forward with these things. Maybe that was it. So a lot of backwards movement right now. We have like a lot of planets. We're recording this on a day that Jupiter is going retrograde at 15 degrees Taurus. So, which is opposing my Venus and my Uranus. So I have a lot of personal stuff going on right now in my chart.
Yeah.
Which feels like a squeeze gate. If you read the newsletter, I talked about it last week in the newsletter, some big transits happening in my life right now. Although it doesn't feel like anything is really happening, mostly with work. I'm a new manager, so like I have a lot more responsibility. But other than that, it's interesting. I can't wait to reflect back on this time in like a few years and be like, oh, okay, now I see it. Because sometimes when you're in the thick of it, you can't see it. You can't
100%.
really realize what's going on.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm sure there's more to come because it's been intense, but what was I gonna mention? Oh, and yesterday Venus went direct, which was September, which we'll get to. We don't really talk a ton about September. We just mention what's happening. So one thing I want to mention was Mars entered Libra on August 27th.
Okay.
So as a Virgo, when Mars was in Virgo, previous to Mars being in Libra, I was really motivated, like working out and like getting the schedule down and walking, doing all this stuff. I felt really in the flow. Then it entered Libra and I was like, I mean, school started and all this, and I haven't been to the gym again. I haven't been going to yoga classes. I've been teaching them, of course, but I haven't been doing anything for myself. But yeah, I just want to know, like, how do you feel? Do you feel like, because Mars entered your sun sign, so like, I feel like when Mars is action, it's energy, it's sexual energy, it's creative power, it's like warrior stance too. So like it's a nice boost, honestly. Like, it feels good, like it's movement forward.
I feel that. I mean, so the 27th was the day you're talking about that.
Yeah.
So my note on that was total exhaustion. So that was the day. Like,
Oh wow.
I don't nap, and I like could not keep my eyes open. So I just like did like I don't know, almost like a mini hibernation, and then kind of since then feeling like I'm super motivated to stay ahead of the game and be on top of things. And so maybe that was just my like rebirth into that.
Rebirth, and I mentioned to you the other day, and I know sometimes when you're not a big astrology nerd like I am, I mentioned to you when there's movement of the planets into retrograde or direct action. I don't know if you remember this, but I was like, I get really exhausted, and there's a lot of movement like that now, and I've been sleeping a lot too. Where I've just been like, oh, just so tired. But when a planet moves into a sign, and this is something to start to reflect on, especially if it's in a sign that is really intense in your chart, like Libra, how do you feel? Like you can feel cocooning, or like you want to, it's like the rebirth then afterwards. I feel that when a planet stations to go retrograde or direct, so this week I've been highly sensitive with all this movement, but also when a planet moves into a sign that's gonna be a major sign or a major chart ruler in your chart or house. So thanks for sharing that. That's really interesting. That you needed to sleep and cocoon and rest, and then I saw you on the next day.
It was not even in my control. I could not stay awake.
Because the 27th, what day was that? A Sunday?
It's Sunday.
Yes.
It was it was the day we got to this area.
So
maybe altitude was a factor. But no, and because Corey was the same, we were both just total zombies. Like it was also the end of what was kind of a long journey, or sort of an aggressive travel time for us. And I think we sort of felt like we had arrived and then just shut down.
So it's weird because that Saturday before the 26th, when the last day of Mars in Virgo, I told you I took 3 naps that day.
That's right.
3 naps that day. I was cocooning on the day it was ending for me. You were cocooning on the day it started for you. Wow. See, this is why you all need this show in your life. Okay, recognize this. Well, good, and then we saw each other, I think, was it Monday night? Yeah, Monday
the next
night,
day,
and we
yeah.
did a fire, that night, that was really
Well, we
nice.
cocooned in bed and during the storm.
Yeah, oh yeah, and then it stormed and that was, we hung out. Oh, that's right, because like that was the storm and we brought some food and hung out in their
Oh.
van. It was so fun. And then we tried to have a little fire, which happened for like, I don't know, 10 minutes.
Long enough to roast a marshmallow.
Yeah, we roasted a marshmallow and then we were like,
That's
and
all
then
you need.
and it was funny because the kids were like, can we go home and go to bed? And they're never asking to go home and go to bed.
Yeah.
It was really funny that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dee Dee was out. She was
Dee Dee
so
was
tired,
out.
yeah.
Dee had a full day of school and then she had a volleyball game, then she had Muay Thai, and then we did the fire. It was a long day.
That's a long day.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, and that brings us to our last day, which was the full moon in Pisces, which was that Wednesday.
Mm.
And Adrienne and I went up to my aunt's house and we did an herbal bath and shared some food with everybody. But we were all kind of talking too about like, it's really nice to connect with the Maya herbal baths where it's water, and Pisces was water, and just having a nice cleansing experience of being with the herbs, being with the plants, and being outside, being with friends and family. It was nice. But it was very foggy. It was like forgetful, and I was really trying to stay on point. But that's the interplay between Virgo and Pisces though. Virgo's like, make the list, go to the grocery store, make the food, get it together, pack everything, perfectionism. It has to be done in this order. And Pisces is like, let it go. Everything's gonna work out. Trust. It's okay if you don't remember that. Love yourself regardless. Unconditional love. Virgo, conditional. No, I'm just kidding. But it's that balance, right? The sun and the moon, and that's what we're playing with there. We're playing with that inner connection, always on a full moon. How do you balance between this and that? Physical health, spiritual health, emotional, physical, your health, your service to others. And that's where Virgo and Pisces really interconnect though, is that service and duty, the compassion to all. Okay. And your Pisces full moon?
This is what I wrote. Wallowing. It's a
Wallowing.
It's a good day to wallow on my Pisces full moon.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's how I started my morning at 7:44 a.m. Then I did a walk around Lake McIntosh here in Longmont, Colorado.
Oh, lovely.
And saw like the plump, ripe full moon orange it was rising over the lake, and it was
Gorgeous.
absolutely magical.
So beautiful. And near water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Water signs, like it's so nice to be near or working with water. Work with the element of the moon and the new moon and the full moon. What is the element of that sign? Work with, it's powerful. Yeah.
It's
More
really
potent.
a seared image of that moon rising. It's beautiful. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good. Yeah, and of course Pisces is also emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Pisces is intuitive. Pisces is, going beyond the realms, like the void, it's a time that messages can come through that you just need to be open, to receiving. Yes. Yeah. Thoughts on your full moon experience, something different?
I don't know, I've been in such a period of transition, which is, still kind of in motion, but I feel like I'm on the tail end of the transition phase, and I'll then just sort of be in a new phase, for a while until the next transition. So yeah, it's sort of like wrapping up and resetting and feeling like that's kind of where I've been and looking forward to the next thing while still being comfortable in this sort of period of flux.
Yes. Yeah, because you have a lot of movement coming up in September. Well, I meant like in the van.
Yes.
Like in Colorado, a lot of events.
In my actual life, yes.
Yeah,
that is true.
And that moves us into September, where I just want to mention some of the big things happening in September, because it's setting us up for a very active eclipse season in October. So, you know, one thing I'll mention for you is Virgo is the 12th sign in your solar chart. So we have like a regular chart that we're born into, but then the solar chart, it recognizes our sun as our first house, but it can be confusing. But so this is the last month of your year because your birthday is October, right? So it's more of a time of introspection. So oftentimes when the sun is in the sign before our birthday sign, which is Virgo for you, it can feel like a reset, reflection, be more introspective, a little bit more tired, considering what's happened over your year. Because then when your birthday comes, you're like, it's like going through a portal.
Sure.
Like I'm being rebirthed, you know, now it's time for my new year. So be gentle with yourself, you know, give yourself time and space. And because the sun will move into Libra at the end of September. And so really this month is saying, and I like it because like if you think of like the signs, and we should do a show on this, like how they evolve. So you think about like Leo season is like playful and fun and adventurous, like summertime in the northern hemisphere. It's a little chaotic. I mean, it's fire, right? It's passionate. Let's just do it. Let's just jump in 2 feet. Like, let's do it. But then Virgo's like, okay, let's roll it back in, y'all. Okay. All right, no more fun. Get your shit together. Okay, what are we doing here? Organize, you know, new routine. You got to care about your health. Stop doing this, stop doing that, you know, stop doing excess. Fire is excess. Okay. But Virgo's like, no, details now. Mercury, come back, roll it back in, details, take care of yourself, you know. But then it's so serious, it forgets the beauty of the moment, and that's what Libra is.
That's why I need Libra.
Libra is the beauty. Libra is ruled by Venus. Libra is like the color, you know, the senses, the beauty of life. It really wants that expansive, pleasureful moment. Where Virgo's like, no pleasure. Like my husband is all business, all serious all the time. He's very, very Virgo. He's a lot of Virgo, right? It's like, okay, we're going to eat this protein because it's good for us, not because it tastes delicious, or, you know, we're going to make this smoothie, but he, you know, I'm like, let's have a little like ice cream into that, you know, in the morning. And he's like, no way, you know, that's crazy. But it's the pleasures of it, right? So you know, Venus and Libra brings us back to a balance, a more healthy balance, a more beautiful balance of life. So that's helping us see in a different perspective. That's why each season is so different. That's why we have new intentions and life cycles yoga. How do we create new intentions for that season? So a couple things. I mentioned Venus stationed direct yesterday in Leo. And Venus is relationships, and in Leo, it's very heart-centered, it's very sunny, but now it's moving forward. So there's been a re-evaluation of relationships since July 23rd. Okay, so, you know, what do you really value? You know, this time of it moving backwards was just like reflection on what you really value. What do people bring to the table? Who do you really want in your life? What do you want in your life? You know, you have to be able to communicate your needs and your desires in order for those to hopefully be met by your partner, your business partner, whoever. And also exes could have come back, you know, into the picture. That didn't happen, did it?
Only about 4 times.
Yeah, 4 times they come back. Is it something that you need to re-evaluate, or is it more of a closure thing? You know, what happened during Venus retrograde? Did you express your needs, you know, and have they been met? Because moving forward now, Venus is sort of sitting still and it will start shifting back. Venus is now a morning star, so you can see it in the morning versus the night. And it's a new beginning, like it's a new sunrise for relationships, which is lovely. Moving forward, yeah, I really like that. It feels good in Leo too, because Leo is the sun, and it's, you know, it's a good positive sign. So nice forward movement. And then Jupiter, of course, station retrograde today in Taurus. you know, and Jupiter is a blessings planet, opportunities. When it moves backward, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have blessings, right? In that area of your chart, what chart is it? What house is it in? Is Taurus in? It just means that when we receive a blessing or an opportunity, we're rethinking that. We're like, is this really?
Yeah, okay.
And it could be we're more cautious about it. Or it could be too expansive, too much of a blessing, where it's like overwhelming. So just keep that in mind. That happens through December. Oh, I just put the sun here. September 6th is a sun conjunct Mercury in Virgo. It's called a Kazemi. I just like saying Kazemi, so it's a fun word. Kazemi. It's a new cycle for Mercury, but it's moving backwards right now. So we may not be able to find the words really. You know, and Virgo is perfection. So it wants perfection. So really we'll feel as if we are muted in a way because we can't really find our perfect words. It's hard. Mercury stations direct though on September 15th, because that's when you could start after the 15th, you know, think about those big conversations you want to have if you need to have them. Also that day, the Virgo new moon. So what house is that new moon happening in? Yours is the 10th house, I think. Yeah, the 10th house of career and purpose, new beginnings, you know, with work, career, purpose. Anything going on with your coaching around that time, or you have any like big things coming up?
15.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, nothing new, but definitely I need to kind of re-establish my connection to my coaching.
And this is your moon.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's true.
So yeah,
Oh, that is true.
so maybe we should think about doing something together,
I like
like do a little ceremony. Yeah. September 15th, do you have anything on your docket?
Like a big work planning meeting for.
Another work planning
I
meeting.
know, works a lot these days.
Cycling through these new moons
Dude,
with
I
you.
know, I know.
You know,
Yeah,
we're doing my hair done.
Okay, yeah, nice, emotionally, yeah, good, okay. Hair, work meeting. Love it, I love it. Wow, so yeah.
Yeah, we're setting the stage for like strategic planning, you know, for the next 1, 3, 5 years. So
Nice.
kind of
Yeah,
setting the foundation for a kickoff, like in late November, early December.
that
So,
is, yeah.
just kind of setting the stage at that point, but you know, that's important to get it right, so.
It is important to get it right, you know, when it's happening in your second house, which is money and income. It's really our basic needs, like our housing, our food, our water, but also it's how we value things. So, you know, this moon is also a big reflection on how you value yourself. And that can be reflected out in the meeting, you know, speaking forward and what you need, what the company needs moving forward. Wow, so yeah, are you gonna point out to them, so we're having these big meetings on all these new moons, my
Sometimes. We did plan a work party around
that's
your
awesome.
advice once. I was like, well, my astrologer friend said.
I love it.
We should do it on this day. So
That's so cool. Oh, so cool. Well, good. Yeah, big event happening in September, the 20th. Huge.
Say more.
I turned 45. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. No, it's on the 20th, but yeah, it's interesting. I always big ones like 45, like 5-year increments are bigger to me than like the 10-year. I don't know what it is, you know, it's strange. 35 was really hard for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now 45, it's like reflecting, you know, there's just I don't know, it feels different,
Okay.
you know, like
Yeah.
mid 40s, you know. And how do you feel mid 40s? I don't know. You know, my kids have been pointing out a lot more about like how I feel, and what my kids perceive of me has been like really hard for me to bring together. They're like, oh, mom is old and has gray hair, you know, and like I feel like I try to feel like to be, you know, fun and inviting for them, you know, like different, so we'll see. 45, you know. Good, and then, yeah, Sun enters Libra, so birthday season for this token Libra here. Finding the balance in our lives, and it's equinox, of course, it's fall, equal day, equal night. And all of those themes come into our life, and we're less attached too, because it's to emotional stance, because it's air sign season, which is nice because like you can, we have to have, I love Libra because it's like about justice, and equality.
Yeah.
So there has to be a certain level of detachment, but also compassion for that in our lives, to fight for those that may need fighting for. But a lot of the theme in the Libra season for us is coming to a certain balance in our life, and especially in those houses too. So third house and ninth house for you. So traveling is a big deal, and it's interesting because like you travel a lot domestically, right, in your van, and all of your Libra, all of these, right, these things, Sun, life force, Pluto, transformation and evolution, Venus, love and relationships, Mercury, communication and details, are in your third house of domestic travel. This is like perfect for you, right? Being able to have mobile movement, traveling every day is energizing and fun, for you. And so, and it's transformational. It's a balance, like finding balance. Not a lot of people would enjoy that lifestyle.
No, it's not for everyone.
Right? But it definitely fits for you. Yeah, absolutely. That's cool. So yeah, those Libra really is coming in hot and heavy at the 23rd, so that'll be fun to watch. Anything happening on the 23rd ish?
Philly Strings Renewal Festival.
Nice.
So doing some live music, meeting some new folks, and just like relaxing and
yeah, it's a good way to celebrate too. Live music, being in the mountains, it'll be really beautiful. And those are around peak weekend, where we record this in Colorado. Colorado tends to have peak leaf turning viewing in September because of the elevation. So September is the big month for that. It's already starting to turn right now. So that'll be a really nice way to celebrate that movement, the sun movement. Yeah. What about you? You have anything going on 23rd?
23rd. Well, I was just thinking that I have a lot of amazing Virgo friends, and so I'll be at literally a specific Virgo birthday party on September 22nd, and then September 23rd, I actually have a outdoor backyard music event that I'm going to with the guy I'm dating, and at some of his friend's house. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
So but I'll be keen to what's going on around that time.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah. I think we're gonna go camping. So
yeah, being
it'll be
outside.
nice. Yeah, being outside feels important.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Good. And then, of course, we have the Aries full moon, which is on the September 29th. This is a big deal because Aries, is opposite Libra, and right now the nodes of the moon are in Aries and Libra.
Is that Friday?
That's a good question. I don't know.
29th is a Friday.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah, good. Okay, nice full moon on a Friday. And it's a big deal because 2 weeks after that, we have an eclipse on October 14th. And it's gonna be traveling through the southwest corner of the United States. Adrienne and I are gonna be meeting up in Utah and to view it in the area of Bluff, Utah. And near Monument Valley, just a really spiritual area, and I'm trying to think of like a really nice ritual or ceremony to do during that time, because it's a powerful, potent time. And this eclipse is going to be the last one in Taurus. Or no, Libra, I mean, it's Libra because it's a new moon in Libra. So it's a new moon in Libra, and then the Taurus one is 2 weeks later, and on the 28th, that's going to be the Taurus full moon because it will be Scorpio season. So the new moon, October 14th, a new moon in Libra, new beginnings for you. We'll have to see if it's on top of any of your 4 planets in Libra, in which one it really connects with, that highlights, it's big changes for Aries and Libra people. if you have big placements, you know, the big three, it's transformational over the
Yeah.
next year and a half. I mean, eclipses do that to shift us on the path we belong on.
Cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, even if it's challenging, the universe is saying, like, this is the path for you. I'm making these changes.
Yeah.
So interesting. Yeah. I don't have any big planets, and I have one Pluto and Libra, and that's it.
I'm gonna have to do a little Libra check.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. No Aries.
I feel like there's one major planet that I have in Libra,
Mhm.
so we'll get to the bottom of that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll for October, we'll have big eclipse event talk
Yeah.
for sure. Well, good. So yeah, we'll have to check back in and see what's happening. Big Libra. I mean, you have 4 planets in Libra over the next year and a half. I mean, you already became partner, and we talked about this because you messaged me and said, "What's happening around July?" I think you said 16th or 17th or something like that. And I said, "Oh, funny you ask," you know, and I was set. She didn't tell me what was going on, and I said the nodes of the moon are shifting into Libra and Aries. Aries is the north node, so that's really moving forward, and Libra is the south node, so that's releasing, so we can move forward. So it's interesting because you became partner around that time, exactly when the nodes of the moon shifted. This is what I'm talking about, those big movements in your life, and I'm seeing things like this with my Libra friends, especially Libra moons. Emotional things happening where they really have to get in touch with what they're feeling. And then I have a friend, he's an Aries and he's retiring, so a family friend, retirement is in the cards. It's just lovely to see like what changes are happening. So if you're a Libra or an Aries, comment below. I'd really love to hear. We'd love to know if what's going on with you, and if any big changes are happening with you. It'd be really great to see. Well, good. I think that's it. Anything else? Oh, I wanted to mention yoga for the month. Virgo, intestines and nervous system. Lots of deep breathing. Take care of your nervous system. Intestines, twists are really nice. Intestinal massage, my abdominal massage, but placing the thighs up into your belly and just pressing right side first. Ascending colon, left side last, descending colon. That massage in the intestines is really nice. And then Libra, lower back, kidneys, drink a lot of water, right? Kidneys help us find our balance, detoxifying in our body, getting rid of things so we can come back into balance. And the lower back, take care of that sacrum, you know, child's pose, forward folds, releasing the lower back, sitting, opening, you know, V legs, releasing, can be really nice for the lower back, but take care of yourself. Good. And there's also a connection to the finances, because also Venus rules your finances. So Libra has a big financial connection, which is interesting. All right. Anything else, my friends? Anything else?
Oh, complete.
Thanks, so.
Great.
And
Thanks for being
enlightening,
here
yes.
today,
Yeah, thank
Adrienne.
you. Thanks
Yeah.
for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us and sharing about your life and your cycles of what's going on. It's exciting to see, and happy to have you. Yeah, share.
Yeah. Thanks. It was fun.
Well, good. We'll be back here to record for October, and yeah, share with us what's going on in your life. I'd love to hear from you. All right, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Take
Bye.
care.